asked my gist now. I actually went on that day because that was exactly what I heard. So regarding Chinwe and the Zinwe gist, a night before, that was when they got to the hotel on Wednesday night. Was it Wednesday? What's today? Today is Friday. Yesterday, Thursday, Wednesday. Yeah, on Tuesday night rather, when they got to the hotel prior to the shooting for the next day. Zion has gone to meet what's his name? Chinwe, right? So I think they were cool. They're actually cool before then. So he's gone to meet Chinwe in a hotel room. So they kind of conversed. And it was more like he was professing coming back into our life. From what I heard, he was professing there are still feelings, I like you, blah, 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 and all of that. So it was quite confusing to Chinwe based on what she said, anyways. And when it was their turn during the reunion for them to talk about their dynamics, Chinwe stopped. Ebuka asked her, then she stopped. She was like, Zion should go ahead and Zion should spill. So Zion started. I think what Chinwe was expecting was for Zion to start on a very good note, just say something reasonable so that I can actually follow suit. That was the expectation, to be honest. So when Zion started, oh, the relationship was good at some point, but they were having issues. And it made it look like he was the one that dumped Chinwe. So he was going on and on explaining their dynamics. Then at the point when he ended, then Chinwe interrupted. I was like, you are not going to sit there and make it to look at me, you dumped me on a national TV. You didn't dump me, you didn't leave me. Then Chinwe started explaining what happened, including their Zion's shenanigans. Apparently, Zion has been cheating on Chinwe, allegedly, right? At a point, I think several months ago, there was even a babe that came out on TikTok. The babe is in Benin. That happens to be one of, what's his name? Zion's victims. The babe is in Benin. They said, in case you're aware of this story, I wasn't aware, I just said it anyway. They said the babe is in Benin. The babe came out on TikTok or Snapchat and the babe was ranting, right? And Chinwe got hold of that information. So that was one of the major reasons that impacted their relationship. Prior to that, allegedly, Chinwe has been giving Zion money. She's the one rather, literally catering for that relationship financially. And they've had several ups and downs. Even some of the housemates have helped them kind of settle, the fight, which is fine because they were kind of closer to some of them, to Kelly Ray, Cassia, Mayor Frosh. Majority of them are aware of the situation. So they've settled their shenanigans a lot of times. And I know they've had fights that they've settled, they will come back. So Chinwe noticed that even the money that she was even giving to Zion was even using to do big boy around and be cheating and be carrying ladies, allegedly, right? So Chinwe kind of spilled a lot during that session. I think the first night, it was even that session that literally took a larger part of the shooting because they went forth and back. And at some point, Ebuka kind of interrupted. I was like, that was okay. But Zion stood exactly on what he said. He didn't feel bad about anything, anyways. And they ended that part. So yesterday again, there was a segment for them to talk briefly whether there's a possibility of them coming back or not, which Chinwe denounced. Note that prior to this, they were conversing, they were still following each other on IG. I think they still communicate kind of on WhatsApp, they were cool, but nothing in terms of relationship because they had issue before the reunion. Until that night, the first night of the reunion, when Zion walked up to Chinwe in her room and was trying to just start a pack again, right? So after yesterday shooting, Zion then blocked Chinwe on WhatsApp. It was not on IG because of what happened yesterday. And prior to Zion blocking Chinwe, during yesterday's shooting, there was an altercation between Chinwe and Ndine. That's Auntie, right? And the altercation has to do, it has to do with something that happened after the show, after the house, right? There was something Auntie said happened after the house. So Auntie brought it out during yesterday's shooting as they were talking. So when they were having the fought and back, what's her name? Ndine then mentioned something that before you even talk to me, go and transfer your frustration on Zion and let him return the money he borrowed from you. So they kind of used Zion as a more like a pawn or probably a scoring point against Chinwe in that altercation, which made that. I mean, it was really bloody from what I heard, and their own altercation kind of continued. That was Chinwe and the Ndines. So I think it was as a result of that, Zion felt some type of way and blocked Chinwe this morning on WhatsApp. again, they are still following each other, if I can remember, on IG as the time I received the news anyway, right? They are still following each other. So that is exactly what's happening there. So at some point, I think even in the altercation, there was even an interference from production because Chinway was really going on. I hope if they didn't cut anything and they show everything that happened, I just sincerely hope that's exactly what they are going to air because Chinway was really going ballistic on Zion. And it was even very funny because majority of the people Chinwe kind of had issues with in that house, they made up surprisingly, right? There were apologies, there were hugs. She actually made up with a lot of them, except Zion, of course, who happens to be the scapegoat of frustrations or whatnot. And I think I think she kind of started it well because she wasn't the one that started the conversation about the dynamics. She gave Zion the grace to speak about it, speak, just put out a very nice narrative out there, set the tone, and I'm going to follow suit. That was the expectation. Just set it down. I'm going to follow suit so that whatever you say is exactly what I'm going to say. And this is how it's going to look like. And that was where I personally think Zion could have actually done better and just save their faces, or probably save even his own face, because the reunion didn't go in his favor at all from what I heard. And I just hope Chinwe will not be painted as the villain from everything I heard, while Zion is going to be like, the victim, to be sincere, because it was a very brutal argument between two of them. And Ebuka kind of interjected at some point. Even the production stopped that. But she was definitely angry. The whole narrative of I dumped you and being on a national TV, and we've seen that spiral on this show. Now coming again, especially to somebody like Chinwe who has, a very big ego. I think that was one of the things that kind of really reeled that up or riled that up. And she was like, nah, I'm not going to take this. So yeah, that's just pretty much a very brief one between the Zinwe. I mean, Chinwe already spilled some of them. That's what I'm saying. A bunch of the gist or probably the rumors, a lot of them are actually true, to be honest. Um, yeah, before I go to the Aces boys, as at the first night, I'm not sure. I'm even interested in case anybody can help me here. Those are speakers for me. Baby Igwe, Victory, and Lulu. Was there any issue between Suj and Tofa? Like, because I really think
Yes,
that I know
yes.
their fans. I know their fans
During the
speculate.
show, during the show, actually, they didn't have any issue, but the chemistry was not there. A lot of people were of the opinion that, oh, are these people truly friends, or they just match them up. Like, a lot of people, they were not, like, the friendship was not wasn't that deep. It will look so performative for me personally. So I do personally, in the house they didn't really have any issue in the house, but coming outside of the show, everything they had done outside of the show did not even depict that these people were friends in the first place. So I don't think those people were actually close pals like that. They'll probably just match them together to come on the show to be partners or whatever they call themselves. That's
Interesting.
my
I
opinion.
think that's a very interesting angle. Lulu, you wanted to say something?
Yes, like what Fumi just said, yeah. I think the chemistry was not there when they were on the show. It was good. We saw all that, right? And vividly, I think I heard that after the show, like there was something that happened and shit like that. And you know how guys do, they don't do like us females that will banter with cars who say shit. So you just keep it cool and everybody went their own business. Nobody explained. But there was something that happened literally after the show that make them everybody go silence and don't talk to each other.
Yeah, because their own segments came up yesterday, and it was not like towards even the end, of the shooting session. And it seems there was a narrative about jealousy, or probably after and about they spoke about their dynamics from the house till after the show. They even spoke about their relationships in the house, and how one person was actually jealous about the other. How one person was going to say, "I'm going to do this," and the other person, we quickly do it before him. So it
Hi,
was.
comrade.
Hi, Karu, how are you doing?
Can I please say something before you go
Absolutely,
ahead?
absolutely. Please go ahead.
I don't like hypocrisy. Like, honestly, you guys, can you please come here and speak the truth about Tofa and Suj? Do you guys, like, I don't know how you guys watch the show, but have you guys noticed how Suj was so much, he was so much mad, like, during the games? Let's go back there. This guy literally was so fucking mad every time Tofa would go in there. Like he couldn't make it. So the fact that he actually chose Sean, to actually he chose Sean over him. You guys remember that day?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Tofa
yeah.
had, so I don't even want to go back there because he's not even actually my fan, but I don't want people to come here and say, oh, no, no, let's go back there. Like that nigga never liked Tofa, honestly, and it was because of the games, the arena games. Suj was so much of a gamer, and Tofa was a softie. Not everybody is good at games, and sometimes you need to have to calm down. I mean, I understand we are a pair, but I mean, I cannot do as much as you can do. So anybody coming here, please, guys, don't even bring your favorism here. Don't even try it because we know what went down. Suj was not there for Tofa. Honestly speaking, he wasn't. Thank you,
That's
thank you,
all right.
comrade.
Comrade, can I
All right,
just
thank
say
you.
I'll rest my.
something?
If anybody comes opening their mouth, please come back with receipts. I'm here.
Yeah, yeah, no problem, Courage. Yes, sir, from Rebaby Gray. Go ahead.
First off, this whole Suj and Tofa, this person who just said something about Suj not being there for Tofa and Suj reacting to Tofa in a way. I mean, we all watched the show and we saw how slow Tofa was on the show, and this show is something that they have to win as a pair. And when one pair isn't doing enough or doing something to push both of you up, you will definitely be upset with that person regardless of how your relation. Even we get upset with our siblings if they're not doing what they should do. That doesn't mean that he wasn't there for Tofa was half the time with Anita. We all saw it. He was half the time, or is either he's begging or he's
Talk about games. I don't want ships. Talk about games. Talk about games.
Caro, please.
sorry.
Hold on. I have to mute, guys. Caro, there's no need for fights. The show has ended. We're just catching crews based on what is happening. Caro, when she's done, if you have any rebuttal, if you want to go against what she said, you have your floor, please. No need to interrupt anybody. Real baby guy, please go ahead.
Thank you, comrade. So aside that,
Sorry, that was Twitter. That was W Mute. Go ahead.
okay, so aside this whole thing that happened on the show, right? Coming out of the show, we could tell how every day it is one fan base or the other fight. See, most of the problems that these housemates have amongst themselves were created by fans. I know that even them should not have listened to fans, but half the time you're coming on the timeline, fan bases are cooking nonsense. And once they cook like that, their faves will not come and say, no, 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 don't do that. So it becomes, they start as a narrative, and before you know it, people think it is true. And before you know it, there's friction. When nobody's coming out to say, no, don't say that, that's not, I don't like it. I've been seeing a lot of cooking on the timeline that fans cook, but their faves don't call them to order. So it becomes something that, it becomes something that they now say, oh, it is true or it is lie. And again, too, see, the news show is coming up. The husbands who are about to enter, they are seeing what's happening on the timeline. We keep saying, oh, we want people to be themselves, we want to have a reality TV show. But every time people try to be themselves, they come out of the show and they begin to ask themselves, did we not try to be ourselves? And why are people coming after us for being ourselves? See what's going on. The toxicity on the timeline is crazy. People are looking for who to drag. Who are you going to drag? Some of them are never tired to talk about people. Like somebody say, I will drag your faith. I will drag your faith. What are you going to do after dragging your faith? You will get tired. You will get tired. Some of you need to focus on your personal lives. Look for skills to learn and stop saying, I will drag your faith. I will drag. The ones you've been dragging since last year, you never get headache. You never tire. Your faves are doing well. Any morning, they are dragging. They'll be laughing. You are the one wasting your time. But anyways, I'm sorry, comrade. Thank you for this space. I wanted to just pour out my mind, but that's what it is, man.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you very much, baby Kegwe. Okay,
Oh,
so
comrades.
yeah, love you 1 minute. Sorry, let me just say. So for the Aces boys, like I said, so they are there. I think the Nelita babes, there was no issue definitely with them. They didn't really have much. There was even no altercation, except for a few instances when any spoke, and gave some rebuttals. But they seem to have very good relationship with almost the housemates. They settled with some of them, they exit out. But Aces boys, I personally thought they were going to escape until when I aired the fought and back between two of them, and Ibuka tried to intercede at some point as well, just to see if they would, be peaceful or probably just settle it. But they didn't. And there were instances of jealousy. There were references from what happened on the show down to even after the show about supporting one another, for
Thank
their
you.
event.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
that was what happened between those two people, and I think
Thank
that was just
you.
all. Aside that, they spoke about their ships, and from Tofa, from it was even Anita that spoke right regarding Tonita, and they were like they are good, they are cordial. Then Tofa was like anything she says, obviously she's going to follow suit. So there was nothing there. I think there is no ship, there is no relationship. To be honest, this is based on what happened, what I heard. You can come back to reunion and tag me and call me a hater. It is what it is. I don't care about the tears. I've never cared, right?
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
they confirmed they are
Madam, he's
cordial.
talking, please.
Hey, one guys, hold on. They confirmed they are cordial. They are good. No bad blood. Same thing with the Soli ship as well. Surprisingly, and that was one ship I was really expecting to hear what happened. Right, that was the Shani ship. There was no mention of it at all. They didn't bring it up, And but from what happened, from the little we kind of heard, there seems to be no enmity between them. They are very very cordial as well. They are very cool. No issue. There were no tantrums thrown between Sean and Wani. But personally, because that was one of the most I don't know the right word to use. I think that ship was actually a mistake in my opinion. I don't think that ship should have happened. They are kind of cool individually, right? On an individual basis, they're amazing people. But in terms of shipping, I don't really find that ship very interesting because in my head, Sean was there clearly to play a game. He was a gamer and he did his thing, right? Wani, on the other hand, who was supposed to be a gamer, was, like the boy. Even though Sean definitely claims he does like Wani at some point during the show. But to me, I kind of feel like the likeness was not equal one way or the other, right? It's not really on the same path. And as a result of that, he made a lot of things that happened inside the ship and even around the ship to actually be pathetic to watch. That's what's really my opinion. So, and that was one ship I was really looking forward to say, Ebuka, multi-choice, shake this thing. What happened post-show, right? They've said it countless times they are just going to be friends, which is really okay, right? They are friends, they are friends, which we've heard and we are fine with it. You guys been friends. I was particularly interested when I was getting the gist that what happened between Shani, right? So nothing was said around there. Hopefully, maybe the person didn't want to divulge or the person didn't want to say anything. Maybe they air it, I don't know, but I didn't really hear anything particularly. But again, from a particular section of the shooting where Sean boldly denied a conversation he had with Onyeka, just to kind of, as at the time Onyeka and Wani were having a fought and back. And Onyeka tried to get Sean's support at that particular point, and Sean kindly denied. Maybe he doesn't really want to put himself in a mess, or truly the conversation Onyeka said happened didn't happen. Or even if it does happen, he just wants to deny to kind of really save face. So in my head, I'm like, okay, fair enough. Maybe the Shani, maybe two of them are just kind of cool and cordial, nothing serious. And they're just, they just want to be friends and just keep it the same way Soli and Tonita kept it. And I'll go back to Zinwe. I think that was the same thing Chinway was expecting from Zion to just go with the same way, Anita, Tofa, and Suj and Nelly went. To say, we had something, it was amazing, and there was no problem. But Zion started divulging. He was saying a lot, right? Just to make Chinwe to come off as the villain, as if, oh, I truly dumped her, and this was exactly what happened. And that was exactly what Chinwe was not having. And she went ballistic and said a lot of, I mean, Chinwe really said a lot from what I heard. I can't even say some of the things she said here. Literally said a lot of things, went hard on the boy. And I mean, some people might felt is very well deserving, right? Because she was literally defining, she was more like sponsoring the relationship to based on what she was saying allegedly. Oh, the finances, emotionally she was there. She kind of said she puts her all in that relationship, whereas the boy in question allegedly was still cheating, right? Already had the victim in Benin, and the Benin person went on Snap or TikTok to cry out, and that was where she found out that one. Then there were a few instances where she had sent money or probably send money for him or to him rather, and he even used this money to cheat as well. So it seems to be like she already had a lot of build up and used the opportunity to just yield out and react and said everything she needed said at that point in time. So yeah, that's just for the Aces boys. So for the Aces boys, they are no longer, I don't know, and it's kind of weird because after the show I've seen them in public spaces, they even take pictures, they take videos. So I didn't really think there was anything significantly wrong with their friendship, to be honest. Again, I also think a major problem was the fact that a lot of us, including the fans and the viewers, overrated or probably exaggerated their friendship, right? I don't think they were I don't think they were close friends, rather, pre-show, before the show. They were friends, but I don't think they were that close. I think that's where the problem is coming from. And that's where a lot of people are not ready to kind of really ascertain yet. They are friends, but I don't think they are very, very close. I mean, it's possible for me just to know a guy and say, my guy, I'm going on your show. I know you have small social media presence. Can we go together? Right? Even though we might not be best of friends. And we get into the show. And as a result of the fact that we've not really shared a lot of close moments together, then some of our walls start cracking. Then we start seeing some of the things we've not really seen before, right? Because we're not really that close. And I think that was exactly what happened in that particular ship. If I can remember vividly, going back to the house now, there were things that happened in both relationships that actually genuinely stemmed like one person was really copying, the other person, right? But it was not really loud because as guys now, you won't want to come off as, like you are copy or whatever. But it's kind of looked like that in that particular in that particular friendship. And again, there was even a time I remember, was it Suj? Please correct me if you are speaking after me. Was it Suj that was saying, I kind of feel bad that things you are supposed to discuss with me, you don't discuss them with me, right? You discuss them with Sean. Yeah, it was Suj. Thank you. You discuss them with Sean. And I'm just wondering, I am your closest person in this house. If you want to discuss anything with me, come to me and discuss with me. So those were some of the symptoms or the signs that were giving, nah, I don't think these people actually share, a very, very good friendship a close friendship rather, before the house. So before I move on to the other people, I mean, there seems a lot of bazooka were just flying up and down. Like I made mention, Chinway made up with almost everybody she had issues with, except Zion. She became cool with Wani. She became very cool with Nelly, no problem. I think she's also kind of cool now with Onyeka, but obviously they are not going to air that part because it happens off camera, right? So she was kind of really cool with a lot of the people. Zion had no issues except with Chinwe, right? So yeah, those I want to speak on this Aces boy. Caro we go, Fumi, then we have Alaji Brown. Caro, go ahead.